Okay, earlier in this module, we discussed how Gregor Mendel discovered dominant and recessive traits in plants. Do you remember what dominant and recessive traits are?
Is that when dominant allele is expressed if it is present? It covers up a recessive allele that it hides, right?
Yes, but if there's not a dominant allele present, then two homozygous recessive alleles that occur together will be expressed.
Are all traits inherited in the way Mendel described?
No, some traits do not follow a simple dominant recessive pattern that Gregor Mendel discovered. There are more complex patterns to heredity, which we refer to as non-Mendelian inheritance.
Oh, is that why hair color or skin color can be in such wide variety of colors?
Yes, several genes can influence the traits that you mentioned in hair and skin color. This is called polygenetic inheritance.
I remember that prefix, poly, means many. So I think polygenic inheritance would involve many genes that influence one trait. Is that so?
Yes, several genes for that specific trait can be on the same chromosome or even different chromosomes.
Oh, okay. So what are some other exceptions to Mendel's rules?
Well, when two alleles influence a single trait, you have multiple alleles for that trait. For an example, this would be blood type. Have you heard of A, B, or O blood type?
Yeah, I have. Type A blood, but my sister has type O blood. I think that people can have type B and type AB blood as well.
That's right. Another type of non-Mendelian inheritance is sex-linked inheritance. This means that the gene is on the X chromosome. Do you remember that females have two X chromosomes while males have one X and one Y?
Yes, those chromosomes determine a human's gender. So what does it mean if a trait is called sex-linked?
Well, sex-linked inheritance, the gene is on the X chromosome. Since males only have one X chromosome and females have two X chromosomes, the males are more likely to be affected. An example of a sex-linked trait is colorblindness.
Whoa. Let me get this straight. Males are more likely to be colorblind than females because they only have an X chromosome?
Yes.
Oh.
In this case, a carrier for colorblindness is an individual with a gene for the trait that does not express the trait. Because the female has two copies of the X chromosome, her recessive allele for colorblindness can be covered up by the dominant allele.
Okay, but so what happens in a situation if neither allele is dominant?
Okay, when neither allele is dominant over the other one, you get a blending of traits, or a phenotype that meets in the middle.
Okay, is this why some people have wavy hair? The gene for straight hair and the gene for curly hair are not completely dominant over the other one.
Right. One allele is not dominant over the other one, so it's called incomplete dominance.
But what if both traits are dominant?
Well, if both traits are dominant, then you will see both traits expressed. This is referred to as codominance. An example of this would be spotted or striped flowers, brindle dogs, or roan cattle.
Okay, I have another question. Can the environment have an effect on our traits?
Yes, most definitely. Acidic soils can affect flower color. Foxes and hares can change colors with the seasons to blend into their environment. If these animals live in a place where it gets white with snow, the animal's fur will gradually change color from brown to white. This feature protects them from predators.
This information on genetics is so exciting, yet confusing at the same time. What do I need to remember about non-Mendelian inheritance?
Okay. Traits that are passed down from generation to generation are controlled and expressed in different ways. The main two are blending traits in incomplete dominance and seeing both traits in codominance.
Oh.
When you look across our human population, you see expressions of genetic variation. Many of these traits are characterized as non-Mendelian because they do not follow the simple dominant or recessive pattern that Mendel described. In these flowers, you see a red flower, a white flower, and a pink flower. The RW that's written here is heterozygous, and you see a blending of the two traits. This is a type of dominance called incomplete dominance. Neither the red nor the white is dominant over each other. Here you see a different pattern of inheritance. You have a white flower and a red flower, and when they're crossed, the heterozygous form shows a flower with red and white stripes. This kind of pattern of inheritance is called codominance, where you see both traits of the parents. Some other traits of codominance are the brindle dog and the horse that has the white and black color of its parents, and some other flowers. Here you see parent 1 and parent 2 of these cattle. Their offspring shows both alleles. They're both dominant traits, and this is codominance. As you remember, X and X represent female and X and Y male when we look at sex chromosomes. When a gene is on the X chromosome of a male, oftentimes that will be expressed because there's no dominant allele to cover it up. An example of multiple alleles is blood type. The type of blood we have comes in 4 phenotypes: type A, type B, type AB, and type O. Polygenic traits determine hair color, eye color, and skin color. That's why we see the wide variety that we do in humans.